Let us go through some of the important string manipulation functions. We will be talking about splitting strings, converting case, concatenating strings, getting substring, as well as data type conversion. We'll be using this as an example. You can actually think about a record from a file. This is how a particular record from a file will look like. I am assigning it to a variable called as user here. So user is nothing but a string which contain all these characters, the numbers, punctuation marks such as commas, hyphens, pluses, etc. Now let's create the string by name user. You can get the type by saying type of user like this. If you want to split the string and extract the information from this string, you can use a function called as split. If you want to get the help on split, either you can say str.split or you can also say user.split like this. It will actually give you the help on it. If you do not pass the separator, it will use space as the delimiter and it will split the string. However, if you pass the separator, it will use that separator as the delimiter. So in this case, as our data have comma in it, we have to say user.split of comma like this. If not, it will just separate or split by space. So in this case, if I say user.split like this, it will just split by the space. You can see that as part of this list, the first element is 1, 1, 2, 3, not 1, because it is by default split by space. Now, if we use comma like this, and if we split this string called as user, you can see that it have created a list, and each element in this list is nothing but the values in the string which are separated by comma. So this is one element in the list, this is another element in the list, this is another element in the list. You can see here. 1 is the first element, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the second element, Scott is the third element, so on and so forth. Once the data is splitted, we can access elements in the result using index. Index starts with 0. So if you want to get the first name, you can actually say user.split of comma like this. Then in square brackets, you can pass 2. It will return the first name. If you want to get the last name, it is a fourth element and hence we have to say of 3 like this. It will give us the last name. As we have created first name and last name, if you want to convert these strings to uppercase, you can actually use this function called as upper. You can see that the entire string is converted to uppercase. If you want to convert to lowercase, you just have to say lower like this. It will convert the string to lowercase. Now, if you want to concatenate two strings and capitalize them, this is how you can take care. So we have first name and last name. I want to separate them using space in between. That's why I have space also in between. And if you want to capitalize by changing the first character in each of the strings separated by space to uppercase, then you can use this function called as capitalize. Now, if you run this, it will actually give us Scott Tiger. When it comes to capitalize, it will only convert the first character in the entire string to the uppercase. I thought it will convert the first character of each and every word in the string, but it will only convert the first character of the entire string. That's why S is capital, rest is lowercase here. Now, if you want to get the year part of the date, so this is the date here, and hence we can say 4. It will give us the date. However, we want to get the year part of the date, right? So let's see what it says. It is actually talking about year, month, and date. You can actually say DOB of 0 column 4 or column 4 to get the first 4 characters which have the year part. So this is how you should be able to get the year part of our date. If you want to get the day part, which is nothing but last 2 characters, you can say DOB of -2 colon and it will give us the day part of our date. Now, when it comes to year, month and date, once we extract them separately, we should be able to convert them to integer. If you want to convert a particular string into its original type such as integer, which is the case here, you can use the constructor of that type and you should be able to convert. So this will take care of converting the year to the integer type. As long as all the characters in this string are numeric, you should be able to use int to convert to integer. You can also convert date to date type. So date is a special type in Python. If you want to convert the date to date type, this is how it will look like. So by default, when we split, it actually returns the date in the form of string. If you want to convert to date type, you have to use something called as datetime.datetime.strptime. So datetime is the library which is imported. As part of that, there is something called as datetime, which is nothing but a class. That class exposes a function called as strptime. It takes a string as first argument and the format as the second argument. It will interpret the date in this format and it will actually convert it to actual date type. You can run this and then you can actually check the type of this. You can also assign it to a variable, let's say d equal to, and run this, and then we should be able to check the type by saying type of d. There is one extra double quote here, or double quotes here, that's why it is failing. Now let me run this and let me say type of d, it is nothing but of type date type. So this is how you can actually convert the elements that are part of the list after splitting into their original types. You should make this habit of converting the data to their original types so that they are stored appropriately in the databases or even in the files if you are using some advanced file formats such as Parquet, ORC, etc. You should be very comfortable with this process. That being said, let me reiterate once again. We have a string like this. Using this string, we have splitted with comma as the delimiter. It have created list of strings. Using those list of strings, we have seen how to extract information such as first name, last name, etc. And also we have seen how to use functions such as lower, upper, etc. to convert the case. And also we have seen how to convert the types of the data to their original types from these list of strings after split, using constructors such as int and also functions such as strptime, which is available as part of datetime. If you want to get list of all the functions that are available as part of the string, you just have to help of str. Make sure you go through list at least 3-4 times and identify what all you understand directly by going to the list. If you go to the list, we have functions such as capitalize, lower, upper, which we have seen earlier. And also we have functions such as is alnum, is alpha, is decimal, etc., which can be leveraged to validate the strings using different rules. So you also need to be familiar with these functions. So depending upon the requirements, you have to go through the list of functions that are available out of the box with the string class. See if you can use them. If not, you have to develop a user-defined function and start using it. Even while using the user-defined function, you typically end up using some of the pre-existing functions and come up with the user-defined function, which can be leveraged for some of the requirements for which the solution is not available out of the box in Python. That being said, as we have understood how to manipulate the strings, now we will actually talk about formatting strings, which is another very important topic.